Every day, 91 Americans die from an overdose of opioids.
The country's opioid epidemic is growing at a staggering rate.
More than 42,000 Americans died from an opioid overdose in 2016.
Overdoses up. Emergency services overwhelmed. Another family burying a loved one.
There have been 98 drug overdoses this year in Rochester alone.
Died of an accidental drug overdose, self-administered fentanyl.
Good evening, everyone. We begin with the reality of heroin here in the tri-state. 3 young children witnessed their mother overdose and die right in front of them.
Medication prescribed by doctors in order to treat severe and continuous pain, as well as terminal illness. People who have recently had surgery are suffering from immense pain, and cancer patients are usually prescribed opioids. According to the American Society of Anesthesiologists, opioids attach to proteins called opioid receptors on the nerves all over your body. Basically, the receptors block pain signals from reaching your brain. There are definitely some benefits from taking opioids, but as well, there are many side effects. There's an epidemic going on, the opioid epidemic. It is America's current struggle with opioid addiction and overdose. The NIDA states that there were over 30,000 Americans that died as a result of an opioid overdose in 2017. Many people overlook the side effects of opioids. The Center of Disease Control states that people who frequently consume opioids are likely to develop physical dependence and tolerance. This makes it harder for the patients to stop the consumption of opioids, as they will develop symptoms of withdrawal, while others will stop feeling the benefit, so they would require to take a higher dose, thus contributing to the opioid crisis. This situation is getting out of hand. It's time for America to do something about it. But when will America do something about the opioid epidemic? There are constant commercials about the dangers of vaping.
Vaping is like safer than... Vaping is safer than...
Where are all the commercials for the dangers of opioids? The Orange Truth have developed a few commercials about the dangers of opioids. However, they aren't shown as much as the vaping ones.
First time I tried Vicodin, and it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Orange Truth states that they plan to show real cases about the dangers of opioids to end the epidemic. But when? When are they gonna do it? This is one of America's biggest health crises, and there isn't enough awareness towards the dangers of opioids. The first step to end the epidemic is to raise awareness about the dangers of opioids. I have researched and made an exercise routine designed to relieve pain and prevent injuries. First off, we would do a cervical extender stretch where we bend our head forward and turn it slightly to the right or left for about 10 seconds. Another stretch we could do is a lateral flexation stretch. We would perform this by taking our right hand and holding your left ear and pulling to the right side of your head. Hold for about 15 seconds and repeat on the other side. Then we would do cervical rotation by basically turning and rotating our head for about 10 seconds. Finally, we would finish by doing shoulder rolls by gently rolling your shoulders forward 5 times and backwards 5 times. These stretches are perfect for relieving headaches and neck pain. In order to relieve arm, elbow, and wrist pain, we would start off with a fist clench. Grab a ball or towel and squeeze it. Hold for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then we would do a wall stretch by placing your inner elbow, your palm, and your shoulder against the wall and turn away from the wall. As you can see, my brother is putting his hand flat on the wall and turning away from the wall. Then we would do a wrist extender stretch by having our palm face up and pull down. Hold for about 15 seconds. Finally, we would end the exercise with a wrist flexor stretch by keeping our elbow straight and pulling back with your other hand. Hold for about 15 seconds. In order to relieve back pain, we would start off with a knee to chest by laying down on your back and holding one knee to your chest for about 15 seconds. And rotate and hold for 15 seconds. Then we would do a lying knee twist by lying down and bending our right knee and crossing it to your left. Hold for 15 seconds and repeat on the other side. Next up is the cobra stretch. We will lie down on our stomachs with your forearms and elbows flat on the ground and slowly pushing your body up. Hold for about 10 seconds. Finally, we would end with a child's pose by positioning ourselves on the floor on your hands and knees. Turn your toes in touch and push your hips backwards. Once fully positioned, extend arms forwards and relax. In order to relieve leg and feet pain, we would start off with step-ups by standing in front of a single step. Then we would step up the step and step down. Repeat this exercise 20 times. Next, we would do an Achilles stretch by planting our hands flat on the wall. Place a foot back, keeping your knee straight and bending the opposite leg. Hold for about 20 seconds. Then we would do heel raises by standing and pushing up with your tiptoes. Do this 20 times. Finally, we would end the routine with a standing hamstring stretch by putting your leg on a stool, leaning forward and down while keeping your back straight. In conclusion, the current situation with opioids is getting out of control. We need to do something about it. Together, let's end the opioid epidemic.